Hey everyone, this is going to be a long talking video, so I suggest you watch it at the end of the day when you're relaxing and have nothing else to do. But I'm going to update you on a lot that's been going on. Hi everyone, my name is Monique and I've been living in my Buick Encore since September 1st, 2019. It's been a while since I've been able to just sit in front of the camera and talk to you all, but a lot has been going on over the last few months and I'm finally able to sit down and share what's been going on. So as you can see, I am not in my Buick Encore. I'm not in my car. And that's because I don't have it right now. I actually don't have it at all anymore. My Buick Encore is gone forever, and it happened very unexpectedly. Very unexpectedly. It's a long story, but I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. So what happened? Okay, let's see. On September 13th or September 14th, I believe, I got into a little wreck in a parking garage. It did not look that bad. It was not that bad. I was in the city running some errands and I was in an area that I had never been before, and I was in a parking garage that I had never been before. And I was leaving the parking garage and I was trying to figure out how to exit. And there were just so many like turns. At one point I could go left, right, and straight. And I don't know, I didn't know how to get out the parking garage. So as I was driving, I wasn't really paying attention and I was reading the signs that they have. You know, the signs they have in parking garages that say, you know, this way exit, this way parking. So I was reading the signs, I wasn't paying attention, I was turning left. And actually, when I looked at the footage, because I was recording in the garage, I was actually trying to vlog that day. So I had recorded a little bit and I turned the camera off right before the car wreck. So at this point though, when I turned left, I think I later realized as I was looking at the footage that I wasn't supposed to turn left. The arrow was going this way, but I turned this way. I just naturally turned left, and the next thing you know, I just felt like whoosh, like, yeah, my body just whiplashed. And the next thing you know, I see a little bit of smoke coming out on the left front end of the car, and I didn't know what happened at first. I thought I hit a person. I thought I hit a person who was walking in the garage and I didn't see them. I was terrified for like a split second. It's crazy the amount of thoughts that can happen in your mind in literally 1 second. You can think so many things. Once I was able to collect myself, I looked and I saw a big rectangular pillar in the garage and I hit that. Yeah, once I was calm or whatever, I backed the car up, I parked it, and I was able to look at the damage. I'll show you guys the footage of right when it happened. I took the camera out and recorded it, but it didn't look that bad. There was liquid leaking from underneath the car, but my dad said it was like windshield fluid, or it was some kind of fluid that wasn't important. And it was just that front left side that was like crushed and dented in and everything. I was still able to drive it, so I was really bummed because I had just gotten my car back. If you watch my other videos, you'll know that I was having power issues for a while, and I had just gotten the power issues resolved. Like the other company that I sent my car to, they redid everything and everything was working perfectly, and I was so happy. And I was like, I kid you not, I was like, things are gonna be different now. You know, like my luck is gonna change. No, you know, and this accident happened like no more than 3 weeks after I got my car back. At the most 3 weeks. I feel like it was probably 2 weeks later, but maybe it was 3 weeks later. Yeah, so I was pretty bummed initially. I couldn't believe that I was gonna have to put my car back in the shop and stay with family for another few weeks to get my car fixed. Whatever, I called my parents, I told them what happened. I was like, I'm gonna drive to your house. So I drive to my parents' house. By the time I got to their house, I had already called my insurance company, filed a claim, told them which collision center I wanted to go to, had them make the appointment, like I was on it. I've been through this before, unfortunately, so I knew what to do. So I arrived at their house. My dad taped up my car like a pro. He did such a good job. Part of me was like, man, I don't feel like paying for this insurance and my insurance going up. Part of me was like, I'll just drive around with this tape. Like, it looks fine with the tape. The headlight still worked. Like, the glass was broken, but the headlight still worked. Yeah, but I didn't do that. So I had to wait a couple of weeks before I could bring my car to the collision center. So until then, I just drove around my car and I lived in my car. Like, once my dad taped it up, I was good. It was completely usable, the vehicle. So I continued to live in it, continued to do my gig work on the weekends, and everything was fine. Then my collision center appointment came up, and I'm gonna try to remember when I'm editing this video to leave the link of my previous experience at the collision center, because I learned from that experience and I tried to teach you all from my lessons. If you live in your car and you have your seats removed, for some cars, like if your car is like mine, the airbag light will perpetually be on. It will always be on. And some collision centers will require you to put the seat back in before they work on your car, just so that they can confirm that the airbag light didn't have anything to do with the accident. That happened last time, and the collision center would not release my vehicle to me until I put the seats back in. I did not know they were allowed to do that. I was pissed, but I did it. And this time, before I handed over my keys, before I signed anything, I asked them if I was going to have to put my seats back in, because that is a hassle. My seats were in storage, you know? I didn't want to have to do that. So I took the guy, I showed him my car. I said I converted my car into a camper. So I took my seats out and I made a little bed, and it's a little camper. And I explained the whole situation. Last time, you guys had me put my seat back in the car. Like, and you said because you weren't sure, you didn't know for sure if the airbag light was on before. I'm telling you right now that this airbag light is off. I'm telling you guys right now that the airbag light is on because I intentionally removed the seats. It had nothing to do with the wreck. Will you guys take my car? Will you work on my car? And will you give me my car back without requiring me to put the seat back in? Yes. He was like, yes, that won't be a problem this time because you told us ahead of time. I'm writing it down. I'm marking it with the pink marker. He had a green marker and a pink marker.
Bumper, everything right there. On this. Pretty much it right here.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
He was like, I'm marking it with the pink marker, which is gonna mean that you told me about it and that it had nothing to do with the accident, yada, yada, yada. So I was feeling so good. I was like, awesome. Signed the paperwork, called Enterprise, came over, they got my rental car. Everything was going so smoothly. I got my rental car keys, handed over my keys to the guy, and was about to leave. And then I was like, oh wait, I forgot to tell him about the seatbelt. When we were going over everything, I didn't tell him that my seatbelt was jammed. So I was like, hey sir, there's one more thing I forgot that I think you should mark with the green marker. Let me show you. And I told him about the seatbelt. That changed everything. I never knew a seatbelt would make such a difference. Once he saw that the seatbelt was jammed, the seatbelt it wouldn't retract like it's supposed to. It was just loose and hanging. Once he saw that, he said, we won't touch your car. We're not gonna touch your car because now it's a safety issue. We will not touch your car until you put the seats back in. And then he said, even if you put the seats back in, if he said something like if something doesn't work properly, even with the seats back in, we still won't touch your car, we won't work on it. I was like, are you serious? I was so sad. I was so desperate that I was like, can we just forget about it? Can we just pretend like I didn't even tell you about it and just work on the other stuff? I was desperate. And he said no. He said, no, it's a liability. It's a safety issue. And here are your keys. We're not gonna work on your car.
Oh, hi. The seat belt, I forgot to tell you, the seat belt should be green. It stopped working whenever I hit the pillar. Do you guys do the seat belt? It doesn't, on the driver's side?
Yeah, let's look at it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. We can do the seat belt, but that being not in there, we can't reprogram the seat belt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they all have to be intact. 'Cause
Okay.
they're all connected, right?
Okay.
To one module. So now you may have to get the seat in there now.
Can I just forget about the seatbelt and try to do that later?
So now, since this is a safety issue, we may not be able to work on your car at this point.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Now, if it was just, you know, the bumper and the hood got hit and whatever, and I already knew about the airbag and stuff like that on the seat, that's fine. But since now this is a safety issue,
Can we just...
we can't be liable to fix it.
Can I make it pink? Like, can we just forget about it then? We can't?
Because I have to scan the car too. So we scan the computer of the car, and once it shows up that, you know, this side was hit and this impact sensor went off due to this accident, legally I can't do anything with it now at this point.
Really?
Right.
Unless I put the seat back in? Or...
And then at that point I don't even know, because if that doesn't work correctly, then we're in a bind of where it becomes a safety issue. Because we're responsible for putting you back into a car that's safely drivable. So when we work on a vehicle, we make sure all the features are working, you know, it's safe to drive on the road. Now at this point, if I knew that it's not faulty, but it's just disconnected on that side, that's fine. But since I have to replace now the module, the seat belt, the buckle right here, I can't calibrate anything. Now that becomes a point of we're liable for putting you in a vehicle that's not fully calibrated, especially a safety system that keeps you alive from impact on a crash. So,
and there's like nothing I can sign removing your liability?
We won't even touch it.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I don't feel comfortable fixing a vehicle that I can't fully calibrate, especially if it's a safety system. Now, if it's something that, you know, there's headlights that go auto dimming, like they turn on by themselves. If it's something like that, I don't really care. But this is a safety issue. I don't want you to get hurt, so. And we can't be liable with that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's not your fault.
Yeah, but if you can get that done to where it's back to normal, then we can scan it and make sure that you know, everything's working properly except for this side and this impact sensor.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh, are those my?
These are your keys. What I'm gonna do? We'll go in there with Meredith.
Okay.
We'll explain everything to her, and then
And then his manager came out. His manager acted like he was trying to help me. He called somebody. I don't know if it was someone higher up in the collision center I went to. He was standing in front of me and calling people and asking if they could still work on it without the seats, but his superior told him no. So, and then he started telling me that no reputable collision center will work on my car without the seat. He was like, if we won't do it, then none of them are gonna do it. You're just gonna have to put the seat back in, and then you should come back to us and we'll take care of you. I was like, whatever. I definitely called other reputable collision centers that were in the network through my USAA insurance, and none of the other collision centers had that policy. It really didn't make any sense. When I found a collision center I wanted to go to, and I took them out and I told them what happened, I showed them my car camper, I told them what the other collision center said, they were like, why on earth would they require you to put a passenger seat back in for a driver's seatbelt issue? And even the other collision centers that I called, I didn't go to them, but I spoke to them. They said the same thing. They were like, that doesn't make sense. Like, we wouldn't make you put your seat back in. So anyways, I went to that collision center. I talked to the guy. I asked him to talk to his manager because I said, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to go through you guys saying it's fine, and then later on calling me and telling me to go get my seat from storage. So he went and spoke to his manager, explained everything. His manager was like, it's fine. She doesn't have to put her seat back in.
Yeah, we can take your vehicle in.
Really?
Yes.
And I won't be required to put the seat back in?
No, you won't have to worry about putting the seat back.
Awesome.
So it's just the only thing, obviously, the light clear up because of the seatbelt and everything disconnected, but we'll replace the driver's side seatbelt.
Okay.
But yeah, the light will still be on. You know, we can repair it.
Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Have a great day.
You too.
Everything is good. I felt so relieved. I had to wait another few weeks. Like, this was like over a month by now since the accident. Still hadn't gotten my car into a collision center. I made my appointment. I keep living in the car, keep driving in it because it's still drivable.
A few weeks pass. I go back there to drop it off. And then the lady at the desk has the nerve to tell me this was just an estimate. This wasn't a drop off. I was like, what? You never told me that? I told you I wanted to do them both. I'd never experienced a collision center where you have to do the estimate one day and then drop off another day. I've never experienced that, and I've been to collision centers before. They were the first people. I was pissed. I had to turn around and face the wall. Like, I felt like crying because I was just so stressed from everything happening. She was like, you can't leave your car. You have to make another appointment. The rental people were already on their way when she was telling me that. I was like, I'm gonna have to cancel another rental car again. Like, they're gonna freaking ban me. They're gonna think I'm playing games. I don't know. She asked me what insurance company I had. I was like, USAA. Luckily, a guy in the back of the office heard me say USAA, and he was like, you're with them? Hold on. And then he went to the manager's office and spoke to the manager. Then he came out and he was like, with USAA, you can do both. You can do the estimate and the drop off. I'll take care of you. And he took my keys. He gave me the paperwork. Oh, I was so happy. He got me out of there. I filled out the paperwork. I gave him my keys. He was like, you're good. Right when he said that, the rental car came, got my rental car. Everything was good. I was like, okay. I was like, I can feel it, you know, like things are gonna calm down now. Things are finally gonna calm down. I feel it. I was wrong. So I get my rental car. I put my necessities in there. I'll show you that. I was gonna do a whole video on like comparing living in my car that I had modified versus a car that wasn't modified, because a lot of people live in cars like that as well. They don't modify their car like I did. They don't remove seats and stuff. So I was like gonna use this as an experience to get more content and for YouTube and compare things. And I had my stuff in the car, and I was back to living my life and doing gig work and staying in the car, in the rental car. But that video is not gonna come out. I just don't have time, so much is going on. So I'm living in the rental car. I'm checking my insurance, making sure everything is happening, things are happening. A few days pass, I check, I see that the collision center gave an estimate. It was like $5,000 or a little bit under $5,000. And then a little bit after that, I check again, and I see that my insurance paid the money. It says payment sent. Everything is working out. I'm like, cool, so the estimate's good. They paid the collision center, things are rolling. Then a few days after that, I start getting emails after emails. Like, these people were emailing me more than once a day, every day. And they were calling me, blowing up my phone. I was blocking the number. They would just call from another phone number. It was a company called Copart. I had never heard of Copart before. So after getting so many calls and emails from them, I finally decided to take them a little seriously. And I actually read the email, and it said that they were asking for my title. They were like, you need to hurry up. We need to get your title. Then I was like, oh, they're scamming. So I deleted the emails, but then they kept emailing me and kept calling me. So after a few days, I decided to log into my auto insurance and see what was going on. And I log in and I see a message that says your vehicle has been declared a total loss. What? You guys saw the video. That does not look like a totaled car to me. That car does not look totaled. Does it look totaled? Does it look totaled to you? I was like, this is a mistake. They have the wrong car. My car was not totaled. I had so many regrets. I was like, I knew I shouldn't have called the insurance company. I should have just driven my car for the next 7 years with duct tape all over it. I don't care. So then I called USAA to ask if it was a mistake. USAA said, no, we're not gonna fix your car. We determined that the cost to fix the car is not worth the cost of the car, and we're not gonna fix it. I was like, my car is not worth $5,000? I was so confused.
They were like, it wasn't $5,000. I think I called the collision center. Yeah. And I asked them what was going on, and I had the invoice with the breakdown of the $5,000 bill. And I was like, my insurance company isn't paying, like you guys declared it a loss, like I'm confused what's happening. So then they said that the total to fix the car was $18,000. I think it was between like $15,000 and $18,000. I was like, what are you talking about? It's $5,000 to fix my car. You guys have the wrong car. My car only had issues on the front lift of the car. It wasn't even that bad. Like none of the wires were pulled out. Last time they charged a lot of money, they kept saying it was because a lot of the wiring harness or something was pulled out. I'm like, no, but the wires are in. No, the wires were pulled out. What do you mean? I had them email me the breakdown, and they had all this stuff, and I didn't understand it. But the lady on the phone couldn't explain it to me. Basically, they were like, it is what it is. And my insurance company said the same thing, like, it is what it is. And I did not know what to do. At first I was thinking, I'm just gonna take my car back and drive it because there's nothing wrong with the car. The car works perfectly fine. And then when I looked at the thing that said it was a total loss, I saw that there was a settlement offer. So I click on it. My insurance company said you can either accept this money and then hand over your title to Copart, or don't accept the money and get your car, and we're done with that car. And I look at the settlement that they want to give me, and it's several $1,000s more than it would have cost to fix it. To this day, that still kind of confuses me. I'm like, you guys didn't want to pay that money to get it fixed, so you refused to fix it, and then you gave me a check for even more money. I don't understand it. But when I saw the amount that they were giving me, I thought it was a mistake. My parents thought it was a mistake too. They were like, what? After doing research, I quickly realized that no one else would offer me the amount of money that my insurance company was offering me for my car. I've already had offers before. Back when my car was even more new and had less miles, I wasn't offered the money that I'm offered now. Now my car is older. It was 4 years old. It had more miles, and it was all dented up and broken in the front. So I knew for sure I was not going to get the amount of money for that car that my insurance company was offering me. So I took the settlement. And just like that, Copart was on me. They were like, you accepted it, you need to do this, do that, do this. And I did all the stuff. I mailed them my title. And then my dad and I went to the collision center to get all of my stuff out of my car and to see my car home one last time. And it still hadn't really hit me yet. Everything just happened so fast. I really didn't have a lot of time to think. I had so many people in my ear telling me stuff. USAA, the collision center, Copart, constantly calling me, you know, my parents. And I just did not have time to think. And by the time we were emptying out my car, it didn't really seem real, but we were doing it. Yeah, we just took everything, and that was that. And then we drove off, and I never saw my Buick again. And I did get a little bit of closure on the situation, because when my dad and I were taking everything out of the car, one of the mechanics saw us, and he came up to us to compliment me on my car camper. He said that he thought what I did to my car was really cool, and he loved the power setup that I had. And we just talked about that for a little while.
I guess when he saw that me and my dad were nice people, he felt like he wanted to explain what happened. So he popped the hood and he was like, you know, I'm sorry this happened to your car, but I can explain. Because I was telling him like it didn't look that bad, you know? And he was like, I know it doesn't look that bad, but he said that the whole frame of the car has shifted, has shifted. When I hit that pillar, when I hit that pillar, like the frame shifted. And he showed this little test that they do. They put markers on a certain part of the hood and then they close the hood and then they open it. And then the markers were shifted. They weren't where they were supposed to be. And he said, in order to fix this, we would have to take the engine out, take everything out just to reshift that, just to shift the frame. And he said to do all of that work would be a lot of money, a lot of labor. And that's why it costs so much to fix your car. And that gave me a lot more understanding because I really was confused about everything up until that point. So in case you were wondering too, as I tell this story, that is why my car was declared a total loss, because the entire frame shifted. But yeah, that's what happened. So we got all my stuff out of my car, put it in my dad's truck, and then we drove off. And I have never seen my Buick again. And that is where we are today. I am on the hunt for a new car. And who knows, by the time I put this video out, I might already have the car. Everything in this video is old footage. So who knows when I'm gonna actually upload this. But I just wanted to go ahead and sit down and get everything out while I remembered it. But I'm on the hunt for a new car home. I am only buying a vehicle that can be paid for in cash. If I will not go into debt. You guys know me, those of you who have like followed my journey for a while, you know me. I've mentioned this before, like I'm never going into debt again if I can help it. I will not take out a loan for a car. I refuse. It's not even an option. Never gonna happen, not gonna happen. So I'm going to get a new vehicle, and by the time I get that when I get that new vehicle, I expect to still be debt-free. Well, I think that's everything. That was kind of a lot, right? Like I have a lot going on, man. And then the hunt for a car, like that's gonna be a whole thing. I'm staying grateful because things could have been a lot worse. The accident could have been worse. My financial situation could have been worse. It could have been somewhere where I didn't have family close by. So I'm not stressing out as much anymore because I'm really thinking about how things really could have been worse. On the day that I had my accident, another girl had a car accident. I was just scrolling on YouTube and I saw some YouTuber who put like a little community post and asked for prayers for like her cousin or something who was like 16 and got in an accident. And like, I think she flew out of the car and rolled over and was in a bad condition, really bad condition. And it was just interesting because when I looked at the date that she said that the accident happened, it was the same day that I had my little car wreck. And I was like, I'll take my situation over that poor 16-year-old situation any day. I'm living in my parents' basement right now. So I went from car life to basement life. I'm living in their basement. And this is the basement right here. And it's not bad. It's not like a dirty, dingy, grimy basement. It's like a fully done basement. My mom lets me use her vehicle. I'm able to still do gig work on the weekends. Some of you might be thinking, oh, are you gonna stay with your parents? Why don't you just stay with your parents? Why live in another car? I don't wanna live with my parents. I need my space. You might think you have the whole basement. I don't have the whole basement. They're coming down here all the time, always coming into the room. Hey, what's going on? What you doing? Da, 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 da. I love my parents to death. They're amazing. They're like the best parents on earth to me. But I need my space. I have no desire to live with my parents. So just so you know, that's not gonna happen. This is temporary.
I am 100% gonna live in another vehicle. I like living in a vehicle. These last 3 years of living in a vehicle have been very fun for me. It's not, like, to some people it seems crazy and horrible, but not to me. I like it. So I cannot wait to get back into my vehicle. Before anyone asks that question, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. I'm not gonna stay with my parents to save money. And if any of you wonder, like, does living in a house make me want to live in a house again or live in an apartment again? It does not. It doesn't. It's been nice to take showers that aren't a public shower, like at a gym. It's been really nice to take a shower in, you know, a home that a ton of strangers haven't showered in. I enjoy that. I can take a bath whenever I want to. I can stand up and cook and have counter space when I cook, which is something I have greatly missed. It's the only thing about car life that makes me like, can I do this for a long time? Is counter space and kitchen space. That's the only thing I miss. But would I go back to paying rent to have those luxuries? Would I live with my parents and give up my personal space for those luxuries? Nope. Not even a question. So yeah, just in case any of you guys are wondering, that's the answer to that. I want to thank my patrons. I appreciate you guys. A couple of you guys reached out because you hadn't heard from me in a while, and I appreciate that. And just a shout out to all of you guys for supporting my channel too and watching this video and liking it if you give it a like. And yeah, thank you. I will see you in the next video. Bye. So the basement is pretty big, but I don't really want to show my parents, you know, whole house and stuff. That's their privacy. But this is the entrance to this little part of the basement. And this is the room that I'm staying in. This is the couch that I sleep on. It's a pull-out couch, but I don't pull it out. I literally just sleep on the couch because, you know, I live in a car, so this is nothing. This was supposed to be my dad's cave room, man cave, whatever you call it. This is that, but I took it over. He's so nice to let me take it over. But yeah, this is his room. Oh yeah, those are all my books too. I just took over his little thing. I'm trying not to take over that one. Are those my books too? Probably. I keep a lot of my books here. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. I will see you in the next video. Bye. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So this is my first night in the car. Well, first morning. It's the morning now. Last night was my first night. I didn't have time to do my laundry or anything yesterday because I did some gig work for most of the day. So now, before I start gig work again this morning, I'm going to fold my laundry so that I can create a little bit more space. I want to put that up. That's laundry. This bin has my laundry, so I'm going to put it all in here. Once I put this up and the clothes up, I will have more space because this won't be here. It'll all be in this section. All of the food is in there. All of my clothes are in there. All my blankets are over here. I have this bag hanging from here. I wish I would have recorded this. You know what? I'm gonna record this now because I didn't do this, and I do not need Enterprise blaming me for this mess. And now this side is empty.
and I can put all of the groceries on this side of the car. I got my little dolly over here, and I am all set to work for the weekend. All right, time to wash up in my bucket. This is a reality of car life, even in my car. Like, it can get crowded really, really fast. You just saw how this space was nice and empty earlier in the video after I had put my clothes and stuff up. And now I have things everywhere. Look, I have like no space. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show that. Show realities of living in a small space. This is how it was so hard to sleep. Like, when I was trying to sleep last night, I had my legs in so many weird places. Anyways, I had one leg up there at one point. I just really wanted to stretch my leg. But anyways, let me eat because I'm getting hungry. I'm getting a hunger headache. Bye. I just got a Amazon Flex order, so I'm not gonna be able to eat. Yeah, I just took out all of my things and now I have to put all of it back because I need to go get this order. It was a really good price for the order. It was really good pay for the order, so I'm gonna go do that. And this is my dinner. I'm gonna eat it and then get ready for bed, and I'm gonna relax and probably watch something. It's the end of the night and I just finished washing up in my bucket right there. All right, I'm gonna spread my blanket out, and that's really it. This has been my experience living in a car, living in a no-build car with no modifications, no nothing. It's I don't know what to say about it. It's something. All right, good night. Last night I forgot to film my sleeping situation, but it's just back here in the back seat. Last night I found a slightly more comfortable position to place my legs, so I put them up here and that was much better. The night before I was like putting them over here, and I don't know, it's just not as comfortable over here because my feet fall sometimes to the ground because there's nothing down here. Anyways. Definitely cannot do this long term. I have to have the ability to stretch my legs. Even if I don't want to stretch my legs, I just have to have the option, because I am someone who mostly sleeps in a ball. I sleep like in the fetal position, but I still need to have the option whenever I want to just like stretch a little bit. Otherwise I feel, I don't know if it's a little claustrophobic, but I don't know. My muscles in my legs just feel weird if they don't have the option to stretch out. But it's not horrible.